in three. This is Billy Goat from doomedandStoned.com. With me is Gabriele Fiori from Heavy Psych Sounds. He's here this weekend in Joshua Tree for the Heavy Psych Sounds Fest. And this isn't the first one, but I believe it is the first of Joshua Tree. Is that right?
Yes, correct. It's the third edition in California, and the last two has been placed in LA. But we started working with Mario Lalli from Fatso Jetson. Brian Bjork and a lot of other artists, and of course a legend from the desert. And we produced the show together in Joshua Tree, and then he said let's move it over here. It's where everything started and makes sense. So we decided to make it there.
Yeah, it seems like a great choice. It's going to be at the Joshua Tree High Desert Cultural Center off the 29 Palms Highway. If you're interested, it's happening this weekend, March 25th and 26th. And I thought, well, we got the organizer here. Let's talk about the bands, because this is an exciting lineup. And there's a lot of names I'm not familiar with, but maybe would be a good idea to take us step by step through the days of the fest.
Yes, absolutely.
Killer. So we arrived there on Saturday, and who's up first?
Playing, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Has that been determined yet, or is it still kind of up in the air, like who's going to be going when?
No. There's a timetable. Sorry, I wasn't prepared to just give me a second. So I will definitely open the timetables so we can give the exact look. Just let me say that we also have San Francisco, right? In the not only Joshua Tree. It's happening in both.
It is. Whoa, that's cool. So
yeah, I don't know if you knew it. All the HPS fests set up is always two different location, not too far one from the other.
Okay.
And, in San Francisco, it's already, happened like 3 times. Yes, of course, this Joshua Tree one, it's a new one and a new location, and it's looking great. But the same lineup is, it's switched lineup. We have half of the lineup playing one day in Saturday in San Francisco, and the same lineup playing the Saturday in San Francisco is going to play Sunday in Joshua Tree.
Oh, interesting.
Half of the lineup playing Sunday in Joshua Tree is playing in San Francisco the Sunday. So to cover, the whole bands are going to play both locations. It's something
that's pretty cool,
because we always announce this setup, but audience sometimes got confused because they think it's the full lineup one day in one location and in the other. But
I understand now. So we really don't need to worry about the exact order of the bands, because you're going to see them in one location on either day.
Yeah, exactly.
But maybe we can just talk about some of them, maybe starting with High Tone Son of a Bitch.
Yes. This is the band they are on tour with Weed Eater, and so they just joined the festival together with Weed Eater, which is one of the headliners. So I think they are Bay Area based, but they were on tour. They are on tour actually with Weed Eater, and so they got a slot in the festival, but not really connected with the label so far.
Right, and they tend to pull in a lot of guest artists too. Do they do that in their road shows too, or do they have a pretty standard lineup for tours and fests?
Sorry,
High Tone Son of a Bitch.
I don't have so many informations about.
Yeah.
As I said, they're not so connected, and they were. They played. They supposed to play last year as well. So we've been in touch for a while with agent, but they're not part of the roster. So
gotcha. Yeah, so let's talk about some of the bands that are. I mean, some of these names I haven't heard yet, like Whiskey and Knives. That sounds intriguing.
Yeah,
What?
same here. This is Mario's choice because these bands, let me say, I will tell you these bands. Third Year Experience, Fever Dog, Big Pig, and Whiskey Knives. They are all desert located bands.
Mm,
So Mario just told me, okay, we need some local acts. It makes sense because they belong
yeah,
to this territory, and I mean, of course, bands like Fu Manchu, Bram Bjork, Nick Oliveri, they all comes from that piece of land,
right.
and but these other bands too. I mean, he cared. I mean, Mario is really local person there, and he cared to bring these four names. But as well, these bands are not part of the HPS roster. They're just playing the shows, and
Gotcha.
yeah,
Okay, well that kind of straightens things out a little bit more because I am familiar with a lot of these bands just because of the Heavy Psych Sounds label, and it's exciting to see them. I've always thought, even in past years, it's exciting to see those bands on the same stage together, sharing the weekend.
yeah.
But now, especially with this lineup, uh, so talk to us about some of the mainstay bands that will be performing.
Yeah, let's say we have two headliners. Let's say three headliners. I mean, Windhand, of course, probably is the better known band. I mean, everybody knows them. It's this doom, female fronted,
Mm-hmm.
heavy doom.
Oh yeah.
Uh, I mean, it's all, of course, it's going to be all about doom and stoner and retro rock style bands. Weed Eater as well. I mean, they're not part of the roster of HPS, but they are the headliners. I mean, we usually bring in special guests as headliners, and so Weed Eater as well. I mean, it's a solid name. I mean, since I don't know, more than a decade. I don't know how long they are on the scene, but really long time, and they 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 for sure bring bring uh, bring a solidity to the festival name.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have, I mean, let's say Bram Bjork is also an headliner because it's a legend from the desert. So it's good to see how, I mean, we have these guests, of course, Wind and Weed Eater, but also bands like Bram Bjork, which belong to that territory, playing the Joshua Tree show. Let me say, not all these bands are going to play exactly. I mean, the San Francisco is not having the exact same lineup. The Bram Bjork could not commit to go over San Francisco, so he's going to play an exclusive show for the desert
Oh, that's gonna be cool.
community. Yes,
Yeah, that
yes.
sounds amazing, honestly.
We can talk about Nebula as well. Nebula, they move it from LA. Everybody went. I mean, I don't know if you know, but Tom. I mean, let's bring to Tom all the positive energies from here. He's a Sikh, so the bass
Mm,
player Nebula. So he's not doing the tours, not doing the shows. But I mean, Mike, Eddie, and Tom move it from LA to the desert
mm-hmm.
a while back. I think right before the pandemic. So they belong now to the desert as well, to the scene. So makes sense as well to let
For
Nebula
sure.
play. Um, and then we have a Yoni Man as well. I mean, Yoni Man is really is one of the reasons we are here now,
Mm,
because Yoni Man started to play, I don't know, at mid 80s, generator parties right before Caius.
mm-hmm.
And this guy's really invented the sound of the desert. So they have the trademark for this, and they're performing an exclusive show. I mean, these bands are not playing so much in the desert, and so we are very lucky to have them giving us their performance for the show. I
That's
mean, for the
really cool. Yeah, to have that connection going way back, and then the generations of bands that have followed in the same bill. It's a real treat.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Let me speak about a few bands coming from
Hold on, I've got a cat situation. Oh, never mind.
you have a cat
I had a
situation.
cat situation for a second there. Two
So
of
there.
the rival older cats are fighting, but
Oh.
they'll get over it.
So let me speak about a few bands coming from the East Coast.
Okay.
We can see there are a bunch of bands coming from the East Coast, which is Geezer from upstate New York.
Yeah,
Washington.
upstate.
Yeah. And I mean, shout out to these bands which are doing a long trip just to make these two shows. So Geezer, Cosmic Reaper from North Carolina.
Oh, I love those guys. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a super album. They released a super album. And
Yep.
and the split they did, Doom Session as well. Very good. Very good.
Very good.
Super
Yeah.
solid. We're trying to bring these guys to Europe as well. Hopefully they're
Nice.
good to play more shows in the States. And then there's Atomic Beachworks as well. I mean, they tour a lot. They're touring with Nebula in this moment. So we have these three bands from East Coast. Let me talk about Duel from Texas. They're doing a small tour to commit to do the HPS Fests, and the guys come from Austin, and I mean, they're old school rock, metal, stoner metal, old school stuff. Very good. I mean, it's good to see in a show like this, and this is something I give credit to the label. It's not only doom, it's not only stoner. I mean, there's variety of genres. I mean, of course, including, I mean, all under the same roof. But it's good. You have different vibes, different rhythms, and different kind of heaviness. You know,
It complements each one of these complement each other really well.
Yeah, I'm agree. And another, let me say about two West Coast from the North bands from Portland, Hippie Death Cult. I mean, and they do really well in West Coast because they're very cool, not standard kind of tunes. I mean, a bit different, stylish a bit. And Cadabra is a very, I don't know if you're confident with the band.
I like Cadabra. Yeah, they've got just the right vibe for me. Them and Warlung have just, man, yeah.
They toured together. I don't know if you know it. They just toured Cadabra and Warlung. They toured in Europe.
That's a great fit. Yeah,
short tour. Yes, I mean, and was it's so good sometimes when we because we do the booking as well in Europe for a lot of these bands when they tour together and the magic comes together. Two bands is very nice, and these guys all, I mean, all the same ages. Was surprising because we were checking all the passports from these bands, and all these guys from the two bands, they had the same age, and it was funny. So they friends, and was funny. I just had the luck to share a beer just last night before they went home. It was I mean, all nice people.
That's cool.
Love Gang from Colorado.
Yeah.
Denver, another, yes, different from the, I mean, there's a majority of bands more oriented on doom and heavy rock, but this band is like retro vibe, vintage rock, 70s style. And they're a new band, but they're just been invited in Europe, Sonic Blast, and they're committing to make these two shows. I'm very happy about that. I forgot Witch Pit.
Yeah.
Witch Pit from the East Coast as well. The guys coming exclusively for the HPS Fest, and and the guys are super. They're heavier, heavy rock. I mean, with a pinch of 90s style.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty proud and happy that this band's doing so much road to make this festival happening, because it's also, let me say, it's a celebration of the label, of course, but it's a celebration also of the circle of bands they belong. I mean, of course we do our job, but it's also their I mean, we're lucky to have them, and I hope they think the same from us. I mean, to be lucky, and we just work to make this happen, to let them have good shows, a good festival, a good roof above their heads, and that's all about this, really. We just want to deliver something to belong, you know, to say, okay, I belong to that kind of family, and I'm happy because they work to bring, I mean, to give us a show like this. So
For sure.
and I'm a bit sad I wasn't able to be there this weekend, but it's okay. I mean, there's a lot of job to do here too. And of course, you mentioned it, Warlung from Texas as well.
Yes.
Solid band. They already came last year. And a lot of bands. Mono Generator as well. Let me say.
Oh yeah, they're in there.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to play San Francisco. Not anymore.
They maybe because I don't see them on the poster for Joshua Tree.
No, because they're supposed to play San Francisco, but they had to cancel.
Oh, okay.
There's also Hot Lunch. They're going. Yes, let me say, of course.
Hot Lunch.
Hot Lunch just playing the opening warm up in San Francisco together with Disastroid. I mean, Hot Lunch, skate punk, hard rock and roll band, super funny band. They're so good. And Disastroid too. Very good band. I mean, all bands work with HPS. I mean, some of these bands, of course, are closer. Let me say Cadabra, Warlung, Duel, Nebula. I mean, we really, Bram Bjork, we worked a lot together with these bands. Some other bands, I mean, Love Gang just released one album. I don't know if they're going to still work, but really happy we work all together. Hippie Dead Cult releasing the second album together. I mean, the third album of the band, the second together, plus the repress of the first album. So
nice.
We're very close with that band too. We have Lost Dogs in San Francisco. That was the promoter choice. So exclusive show just for San Francisco. So as you can see, you have a few ones playing only one city and few ones playing just the other location. That's how it works mostly. I mean, this is not only the only one. We're working on New York and Baltimore too for the end of the year.
Wow.
And it's going to be
that is an ambitious idea, and you've made it work, right? For the last have you done this every year, 2 cities?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes.
I have to commend you on that. That's some excellent logistical planning, because there's so much when you're moving pieces like that.
Absolutely, but it's also the reason why. I mean, if you offer, sometimes the fees are not so great. So if you offer one show, one fee is not enough. But 2 shows, 2 close city, I mean, not far away, give you the push and reason to make it happen. So you have the full weekend with 2 hopefully crowded shows. So you have 2 fees, so you can commit maybe to make it happen. And that's absolutely something I give credit to us, because if you do just one festival in one, this is not like a huge festival, so tickets can be lower. as well.
Mhm.
And yeah, and we can work. I mean, yes, it's a bit difficult to divide the two lineups. There's some extra logistic things to do, but it's working out. We're doing the same in Italy, two cities as well. Germany, Berlin and Dresden, same
Mm.
thing. Switzerland, same thing.
Wow.
We did in Texas a few years back, San Antonio and Austin. So yes, that's the brand and how it works.
I love it. I love the idea, and obviously the execution has been very good 3 years in a row. Knock on wood for this year as the third, and I like the mix. Like you've got tried and true heavy psych sounds lineup with a few surprises, and then having Windhand and Weed Eater and Brant Bjork and Nebula and the Atomic Bitchwax and all these. I mean, Fatso Jetson, just bands with great credentials, long history of making good music and doing it live really well too. I think that's the other thing is when you go to a festival like this, you're going to get a very good live experience sound wise.
Yes, I really hope so. I mean, a few years back, I don't know if you remember and we played there. The festival in Joshua Tree, Stoned and Dusted.
Done and dusted, yeah.
Yes, it took place for a while, and I mean, with my band, I've got luck. I mean, we flew there to play. It was 2016, maybe. See, yes, 16, and was incredible. I mean, I saw Fu Manchu in the middle of the desert, Mojave Desert, crazy. So it's, I mean, I felt that experience, and it's great, great, great. Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. And this will be at the a cultural center, the Joshua Tree side of this. So it's not like you're having to do any like over the top logistics for you know leading a crew of people out into the wilderness and
Yeah, 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 yeah. But there's also outside stage, so it's not only the inside stage. Actually, the cultural
okay.
center is the inside stage, and it's the smaller one. Outside there's a bigger stage, and where the headliner's supposed
Mhm.
to.
And that'll be nice after sundown. It'll make quite a unique experience for
Yes,
those attending. And then so people can get tickets at heavypsychsounds.com, correct?
yes. There's a section HPS Fests, and you scroll down. There are all the HPS Fests we are organizing, and there's the first one is the California, and you can find the tickets for San Francisco and for Joshua Tree.
Right on, right on. Well, anything else you'd like to say about the festival or the weekend or Heavy Psych Sounds label?
Um, well, yes, I hope you're confident, everybody, all the listeners, with the label, the booking, and the festivals. If you're not, please go to check it out, because I mean, I think it's worth. Um, and yes, I mean, if you're not committing for this year, we're going to share online soon, like a video clip with all the event, and hopefully we can do it again next year, make it bigger, make it better. And but I mean, if you have the chance this weekend and you're in the area, just go there. San Francisco and Joshua Tree, Saturday 25th and Sunday 26th.
Hell yeah. And while I got you here, can you give us a sneak preview of any upcoming releases that might be okay to talk about?
Yes, I mean, we just announced Bongzilla new album,
Cool.
Highlight, Black Rainbow's new album. And we just announced our collaboration with Levitation, the guys from Austin Psych Fest.
Okay.
They're going to
Nice.
release exclusive pressing. So it's a very good connection. And we are in the process to announce next week or really soon 1,000 Modes, the Greek band Repress, just for the US market. So we've been pretty lucky to have this this job. So 1,000 Mods, there's a lot of things. Yoni Man, new album. Wait, let me check because there's a long list. Oh yes, the Yoning Balch. I mean Bob Balch from Fu Manchu, guitar player with Yoni Man. I mean Gary from Yoni Man. Cadabra new album. EP Dead Cult new album. The represses, the last two represses from Bram Bjork, Save My Magic, and Che. New Acid Mammoth album. So a lot of
Wow, a new
new,
Acid Mammoth. That'll be cool.
yeah, new
Yeah.
Motor Generator album as well. So
Right on. Right on. Well, there's a lot to look forward to, and folks, get out and enjoy some good music. As the kids like to say today, touch grass. And I guess that's their way of just saying very simply, we need to get out of our homes and get barefoot every once in a while, or not, but at least get out into the open, socialize a little bit, and see some great bands. Definitely worth the drive if you're going to Joshua Tree or San Francisco either. So heavypsychsounds.com, and we thank Gabriele for being with us today. Gabe Fiore from Heavy Psych Sounds, thank you for taking time out of your very busy weekend to be with Doomed and Stoned.
Thanks a lot, Billy. Really, thanks.
All right, cool. Well, that closes out the interview.